Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave. Before I get into your Litecoin analysis, that's what I'm doing today, I want to remind you of this upcoming Elliott Wave Hub forecasting event, 16th of February. It's only just under 8 days away now. I'm giving you a link in the description box below this video. Click on the link, it'll take you to this web page, register to see this event. I'm going to be giving you my stock picks. I want to invest in the stock market. I'm doing a bunch of research and analysis over the next few days to figure out where I'm putting my money. I've already found one really good option, and I'm going to share with you what I'm investing in based on my own technical analysis, 15 years experience now, and a chartered market technician, so you can get that for free, but you're only going to get it if you register. So click on the link and go and register. Let's jump into Litecoin. Just opened my charts and I'm using crypto compare data now, and it's updating the data for me without me having to import it, which is why I changed from importing Yahoo Finance to using crypto compare. But before I get into this analysis, I'm acknowledging that crypto compare has some weird things like this in 2015, like what's that? What about this? Is that right? So I'm going to see if I can fix that. So this is a little tip for those of you who have Motive Wave. That's the software I'm using. People sometimes ask me that. So I have downloaded Litecoin data from Yahoo Finance. I know Yahoo Finance has really good, clean data, but I'm suspicious that Crypto Compare's data isn't always clean. So what I'm going to do is File, Chart, Import Data, find that file that I've downloaded, should be in my downloads folder, there it is. Uncheck these and check replace existing data. Fingers crossed this works. Let's see. Yeah, that's the one. Would you, oh, excuse me, no, what? Oh, okay, we've got a slash, a backslash. Goodness, it has to be exactly the same. Okay, Lara, that's it, right. Oh, yeah, it fixed it. Okay, great. So that worked. So long as when you import it, your symbol symbol is the same as what you've already got, great. Okay, now that looks much better, doesn't it? I'm relieved because that was weird. Okay, it makes a difference to the ratios and target calculations, although I really don't like calculating targets for these few guys, because people say, Lara, what's your target? Calculate a target. And then I do, and I get so much hate for it. The hate I'm getting for my Bitcoin targets at the moment. Oh, come on, people. Do you really, I mean, would you have said back in 2010 Bitcoin couldn't possibly get to 20,000? Market cap would be too high. What's going to cause that? It can't possibly do it. Well, just don't say markets can't do something. They're going to prove you wrong. I've learned that one the hard way over the years. Oh, I'm just going to get rid of this rant over. Sorry, let's get into analysis and I'll just stop ranting. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Ignore issues when it does that. Okay, so my potential target, it's a stab in the dark. I don't know if it's going to get there or not, but my potential target for primary 3 is 8,943. I'm just using the ratio between primary 3 and primary 1 within cycle 1. Here, primary 3 was 71.374 times the length of primary 1. If we see that same relationship here, then that's a target. It's just a stab in the dark. Monthly wave count's looking good. I think when intermediate 3 has moved beyond the end of 1, that's when I'm going to bring the invalidation point up to the start of intermediate 3. Then it will have met one of those core Elliott wave rules. Primary 3 for this may only subdivide as an impulse. Within the impulse, intermediate 3 must move beyond the end of intermediate 1. When that rule is met, I'll bring the invalidation point up. That's usually my approach. So on the monthly chart, I'm leaving it down here. Actually, I could bring it up here. Let's bring it up to 25.27. Not much of a difference. Okay, so this analysis for Litecoin is really bullish. This is one I've purchased myself, and I'm probably not going to purchase anymore. I'm just going to hang on for a few years and see how that goes. And as always, my risk management for these purchases of cryptocurrency, I only purchase and put money in that I am absolutely prepared to lose in its entirety. Not going to say I won't be upset if I lose it, but I won't be impacted financially. I'll be upset that I was wrong. I don't like being wrong. And I'll be upset at the possible lost opportunity of where I think these are going to go, but I won't be impacted financially. I'll just be annoyed at myself. And that's okay, because that happens. Okay, weekly chart. I've got -1 over here. How do I see that on the daily? Oh yeah, leading contracting diagonal. Okay, just checking that I did do those subdivisions. Yep. So if intermediate 2 is over here, okay, let's put this in context. Start of Litecoin back to year 2015. 5-wave impulse up, 3-wave zigzag down. That's your basic Elliott wave, basic pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps forward. A, B, C, 3 steps back. Now we're looking for an even bigger 5 steps forward. It's really common for third waves, especially cryptocurrencies, and indexes as well. The S&P almost always does this, to have extended third waves. When third waves extend, they do so in price and time. And imagine an accordion. Here's your compacted accordion, and you can see a little bit of the folds here, but you can't really see it in here because it's compacted. And now within cycle 3, you're stretching that accordion out, and when you stretch it out, you see these big second wave corrections showing up, and they're looking much bigger. That tells me that it's very likely that cycle 3 is going to be a long extension, because this is exactly how they start. They look like this. Like you're stretching out that accordion, you can really see those folds now. I hope that makes sense. I like that metaphor. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a good metaphor. I think it's great, but it works for my brain, but does it work for yours? I don't know. So now we're looking at the start of the middle of cycle 3. This is the end of intermediate 2. Now we may have -1 and -2 may be complete, and I just showed you I've checked the subdivisions on the daily chart. On the weekly chart, we'll put some labels in for minute degree. We've probably got minute 1, 2. Now looking for an extended 3, 4. On the daily chart, I'm going to move my invalidation point up to the high of -1 at 67.45. -4 may not move into minor wave 1 price territory. Now you should always draw a channel as early as possible on a new movement. This is an acceleration channel. Just going to give it my pure Elliott wave blue colour. A little affectation there. You draw it from the end of the first wave to the last high and place a parallel copy on the end of the second wave. When the third wave is complete, you keep drawing the channel as it goes higher, and so when the third wave is complete, it'll show where the fourth wave may find support, and it'll be a channel drawn using Elliott's first technique. So this is an acceleration channel. I'm not expecting it to provide resistance, but I am going to expect it to probably provide support. Let's look at the daily chart. I think we're going to look from the end of -2 down here, that low down here, and Crypto Compare had it slightly lower, so I'm going to snap it onto where Yahoo Finance had it. I might have to do this periodically and fix that Crypto Compare data. That's a pain. I'm disappointed it's not going to be as reliable as I really need it to be. I don't want to have to be manually importing this stuff all the time. I don't think -3 and 4 are over. I don't think minute 3 and 4 are over. How are these subdivisions looking? Let's update this analysis together. I can see a lot of overlapping. This overlaps this, overlap here, Doesn't look like the middle of the third wave has passed. I think I'd have this here and this here. That looks pretty good. So that impulse for minuet 1, that looks good. Let's snap that on there. The data is a little bit different, isn't it? So I'll have minuet 1 here, minuet 2 a little zigzag. Minuet 3 may only subdivide as an impulse. I think I need to zoom in on minuet 3 and move this over to the left so I have more room. This third wave, I don't think this is going to be right. There's an overlap here on this high and this high, so this may only be an impulse, and that's not going to subdivide as an impulse, so it's probably not over. Now I'm just wondering where to put my subminuet 1. I want to put it here, because if it's here, that's a 3-wave structure, but this looks like a sharp little impulse, and subminuet 2 could be over here as a combination. Let's try that. W could be a zigzag, X, and is Y going to work? No, because Y is not a flat correction, because because B is less than 90% the length of A. I'm struggling to see how this one's going to work. What if it was over here as a triangle? You kind of want to see a triangle in there. Let's look at that at a lower time frame, just this triangle, and see if it worked, because the movement out of it was really sharp. And that's typical for Elliott wave triangles. The movement out of them is really sharp. Okay, so X would be over here. We'd have A, B, so it's a regular triangle, C, D, and then this wick for E. Yeah, it works, but no, that's a bit forced, I think. I mean, that would meet Elliott wave rules. Let's see how the trend lines would work. The trend lines would work. E very slightly overshoots. That lower trend line looks really good, actually. It's got a nice test here. That's common for Elliott wave triangles, to test the trend lines. I don't like the brevity of D and E. I think that part of this triangle looks forced. I don't know if there is a triangle in there, really. So how else could we label it? I think I would rather label subnuit 2 over here as a double zigzag, but then the problem with the double zigzag is X moves beyond the start of W. That's not violating a rule, it's just violating the spirit of a multiple zigzag. Y does move beyond the end of W, and probably enough for a double zigzag, so I think that's better than that really forced little triangle. I'm just looking at this low, 82.14, and this high, 83.82, no, so that can't be the third wave. Because this whole thing looks like a triangle. I think I'm going to try something else. Maybe this is a triangle here. No, like this, and put B there, C there, and D there. Oh, that's better. That's much better. And I think I'm going to put these up here. And this here. Oh no, that doesn't work. Undo that. Because then the third wave would be the shortest. It can't be. Okay, well I don't like the disproportion between subnuit 2 and minuet 4, but we're working with quite low degrees, so we can't expect perfection. I think that is better. Oh, I don't like this, seeing this over here like this. That's too brief for minuet 2. And I think maybe subnuet 5 might be an ending diagonal, maybe. That would explain the overlapping. I thought I was going to be going with a series of overlapping waves, but no. I think, oh no, this doesn't work. Okay, the wavelengths don't work because 3 is longer than 1, but 4 is shorter than 2, so it won't meet the rules regarding wavelengths for neither contracting nor expanding. Okay, so I think maybe the final fifth wave is extending. Well, that's pretty common. So we'll have the first and second, and then another 1, 2, and then maybe another 1, 2 developing. No, I don't like that either. No, I don't like this. I'm going to keep that triangle, but I think it maybe need to be another degree. I think maybe we've got this up here, and maybe this triangle. You've got to have that, and then is this... No, there's an overlap. I want to see this as a series of third and fourth waves, but then I don't like the brevity of this first wave. I'm going to leave this down here, and I'm going to check the subdivisions of subnuit 1. Now, can I see this? Okay, it has to be a sub-micro degree. Don't like that. No, because now 4 is going to overlap 1. That doesn't work either. Okay, well then I have to move it all down. And I have that problem with proportion now. And now it's going to work. And now we have the triangle here. None of these solutions are ideal, are they? None of it's going to be perfect. Well, you can't expect Elliott wave in real life to look like a diagram in a textbook. Be nice if it did though. Okay, well this tells us that Minuet 1 could be close to completion. If you want a market that looks as close to a textbook as possible, the gold cash market, probably because of its absolutely massive volume, such a huge global market. Bitcoin does okay though, but it's got those weird crypto tendencies with the extreme volatility. That's a pretty good trend channel. Let's move that to the back. Okay, I think that support line's okay, maybe not as conservative as I'd like. If we see 1 or 2 full candlesticks below and not touching this trend line, I'd have a little bit of confidence that Minuet wave 1 could be over, and then a pullback for Minuet 2 could last more than just a few days, could last maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Could be. If intermediate 3 is extending, then it's extending in price and time, and when waves extend in time, the subdivisions within the extended waves, they take longer than subdivisions compared to not extended waves. It seems blatantly obvious, right? But what that means is you have to then understand that you have to approach how long different wave degrees should last with quite a large degree of flexibility. At very high degrees, at cycle, super cycle, and primary degree, we should be reasonably about right, particularly for bullish movements. But at lower degrees, you're going to have more flexibility. I hope that makes sense. That's my analysis for Litecoin done. Don't forget to click on the link and register for this event. Even if you're not going to be able to watch it at the time, you'll get a link so you can watch it later. And if you don't get that link, you're not going to know what my analysis shows are the best stocks to buy right now. I'm investing my own money. I'm not the only one here. There's a whole bunch of other people. I'll be talking at midday. There's me, and there's all these other people, and Jodie Samuels. I love Jodie Samuels. She's so good. So click to register on this for this forecasting event. It's less than 8 days away now, guys.